I regret choosing to watch this over this week's episode of NXT. What drew me in to watch this show was the fact that this was AEW Dark's 100th episode, and I was hoping that the show would have a little bit more going for it than just the fucking name and an updated logo. And honestly, this episode of Dark didn't even need to be branded as the 100th episode because all you got here was what you'd get from AEW Dark every week. No, not even. You're more likely to get livelier crowds in the previous episodes of Dark during the first quarantine era than you would on this episode. This crowd was fucking cooked. There was absolutely nothing on this show that could get them to make noise because I'm sure that they just got done forcing themselves to enjoy the episode of Dynamite that they just got done watching. And a series of squash matches on a bonus taping of a show that doesn't have a lot going for it in the first place probably tested even their strong-willed beliefs about AEW being the brand of pro wrestling that can do no wrong. So much so that they physically could not force themselves to give a fuck about a Penelope Ford or John Moxley squash match. But hey, I hope they feel like they got their money's worth getting to see Dean Ambrose live in 2021. For whatever that's worth, I guess. And I guess Jack Evans versus Pac was the only match in the card that I can even consider being okay at best, because they didn't just go out there to have a squash match like the majority of the card and put on a bit of a performance, even if it wasn't enough in my opinion. The main event between Eddie Kingston and Dante Martin was mid, but at least it didn't suck. The Ty Conti squash match was enjoyable as well, although that isn't to say that Ty Conti is all the way there as a wrestler just yet. The Hikaru Shida squash match turned out to be okay, but can I just say that I'm just about ready to see Shida get her fucking head kicked in as a competitor in AEW? I don't know why, but I feel like there's more money in her being a heel for this promotion specifically. Then again, I kind of think she's already there in terms of not being all that likable to be booed, so what do I know, I guess? She just radiates this pure, like, dick-headed energy whenever I watch her wrestle. And I think that wrestling as a heel might suit her moveset better in this promotion. I'd like to at least see them try that out for a spell, even if it doesn't work out in the end. Call it a hunch, but her turning heel when Britt Baker has clearly made her 180 back around to being a face would have my interest a lot more than if they do a rematch between the two and we get the same face-heel dynamic that we got before, which I didn't think worked out that well for them in the first fucking place. All of that aside though, everything else on the show was equally dog shit and a complete waste of time. Look, the only positive thing that I can say about AEW Dark as a show is that it gives indie wrestlers like Danny Limelight a chance to up their profile a little bit more. As a fan though, AEW Dark is a show that I'm better off avoiding. And at this point, just watching anything AEW related is just me shooting myself in the foot at this point. Maybe I should know better by now that AEW just might not be for me at the end of the day. I so badly don't want that to be the case, but it might just be.